Hey guys, Jodie here from Decor Vintage Designs and welcome back to my channel. In today's furniture painting tutorial I have this cute chest of drawers here that I'm going to be painting and I am inspired by this photo. So these are the colours and the textures that I'm going to be working with today, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Before I get started, I just want to give a shout out to Catherine from Owl & Dog, who won last week's giveaway and a free pot of paint. If you want to win a free pot of paint and a chance to be featured on the next painting video, then take a screenshot of this video, post to your Instagram stories and give me a tag. Okay, so the first thing that I am getting started with today is I've mixed some Rebel Yellow, which is this soft yellow colour, with 2 scoops of sea spray and got this very thick texture here, and I'm going to apply this with a chip brush. Okay, I want different textures as I am applying this today, so I'm actually brushing the sea spray on and I am painting the pools as well. I am not using any water at all for this part. So normally, you guys, if you watch me regularly, you will know that I tend to kind of dab and stipple the sea spray on, but on this occasion I want different textures, so I am going to be kind of brushing it on and also tapping in some areas so that I just get different variations and different, interesting things going on. I custom mixed my own colour here to get this really soft pink, but still kind of vibrant. I custom mixed some Flamingo with Apricot, and it was just a one-on-one solution, and then with just a tiny splash of Peony. I am applying this with a chip brush because I kind of like the texture that the chip brushes give, and I am also spraying water on as I do it. I've covered it everywhere, and then I go in with a little bit of mud puddle, which is this soft brown, and I'm just going around the edges. Again, very, very roughly blending here. I am wanting a sort of an abstract, blendy, faded, kind of rustic style. I used a lot of words then, I realise. And then I'm just blending the mud puddle into the pink that I created as well. Very roughly, don't worry about edges and don't worry about it being perfect. You will probably feel your paint start to drag a little bit, and that's absolutely fine. It's just because the sea spray will do that because of all the texture. If it is dragging a little bit, then just use a tiny little bit more water, but just build the paint and the water up gradually, and that way you will have an easier time with your blending. So next up is Florida Orange. I'm using another chip brush. I am only using chip brushes in this video, and I'm painting this around firstly the outer edges and making it quite thick, and then whatever's left on my brush I'm dragging out onto the drawers. So I'm creating this kind of soft vignette around the drawer corners, and then just bringing out just the tiny little bits, the little dregs that are left on my brush around the top and the bottom of the drawers, just to create this kind of soft sunset vibe. I then went and did a similar thing, but this time with Plum Crazy. I applied the Plum Crazy very thick at the top this time though, so my main focus with this was at the very top of the piece. You can see here that I'm just kind of using the same process, putting it on quite thick and then just dragging out whatever is left on my brush, and then kind of dragging it out onto the drawers there as well, and over the tropical orange. Sorry, the Florida Orange. I always want to call it tropical orange for some reason, maybe because it has a kind of tropical look to it. And then I'm dragging the Plum Crazy out into the drawers as well. And then after I've done that, I went and applied some Barn Red, but I only applied the Barn Red really at the top of the piece over the Plum Crazy. So I'm just trying to get some different variations in colour here in a similar way that you would with, a sunset. I even stippled a little bit of the Barn Red on to create some different texture. Once that had all dried, I then went in with some whitewash glaze. I saturated the furniture quite a bit and I worked drawer by drawer, so I worked in sections, and then I just got an old rag and began to tap, which is a technique called ragging. And whitewash glaze, you can even water down some white paint, is absolutely amazing for bringing colours together. So this is just going to help the colours look a little bit faded, a little bit more pastel-like. It's going to make the middle look a little bit more highlighted, and then the tapping technique is going to create yet another texture. So what you'll find is that it will soften the whole piece and then bring all those colours together, and then have some wonderful kind of texture as well that's been created from the ragging technique. If you do happen to feel that actually you've used a tiny bit too much of the whitewash glaze, then just spray a little bit more water on, or make your rag a little bit damper, and then just wipe it off. It's that easy. And then also what I was doing is that when I just had a tiny little bit left on my brush, I would just stipple it around those edges just to soften them up a little bit as well, because we just want this whole piece to flow. We want it to all kind of look soft and like it's all just been brought together, and we don't want any colour kind of standing harshly out on its own. We just want it to look like it's all kind of in synergy. I then used a little pine cone on the pulls, again saturated it quite a bit, went around those edges. I would just want to get this drippy, rustic kind of look now. This is where it's going to be grunged up a little bit, and then I just squirt the pine cone to get it drippy, and then just soften those edges up with my rag to make it look old and faded. Then to finish the piece, I just gave it a really good sand. So all of that lovely sea spray stuff that's underneath, I'm going to sand over the edges, and then some of the Rebel Yellow is going to appear through again. And again, the sanding will help bring the colours together and help soften it. And we just got some amazing sort of variations of things going on here. And here's the finished look. Thought I would show you guys as well a pre-staged sort of piece before I actually do any editing. But let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, guys, have a great time painting. Take care. Bye bye.